Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at the Women in Leadership Talk podcast. We have an exciting guest today. Nancy Ho is joining us from Singapore. Nancy, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's my honor.
Well, we're thrilled to have you and excited to dive into this conversation and learn, more about the work that you're doing and how you're supporting individuals. But before we do that, let me take a minute and just, welcome our audience. We want to thank you for being here. We know you're listening in from 50 plus countries. So thank you for choosing the Will Talk podcast. But also I want to give you some feedback on Nancy so you know why Nancy's on the call today. So Nancy is a distinguished life strategist, clarity messenger, and state of mind specialist with over 26 years of experience guiding individuals toward holistic success. She has empowered thousands of people through her career, and she's internationally recognized thought leader on the professional paradox. And so that's what really got my attention when Nancy's PR firm asked if she would be a guest for us, and I was like, "Oh yes, this is very exciting." So let's jump in here, Nancy, and just maybe walk us through your journey and why you're focusing on this professional paradox, which comes up so often.
Right, as you have introduced me, I'm Nancy Ho, aka also known as Happy Nancy.
Love it.
I'm in the ever sunny part of the world on the equator called Singapore. So we only have sunshine and rain.
Okay.
No other
Hopefully
season.
more sunshine.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Lots of sunshine. Yeah. Lots of sunshine and rain. And rain is good too. Once in a blue moon, we have flash flood, but otherwise it's good. It's good. Otherwise, it's always good.
Nice.
So to start with, I don't think that many people in this world could say that they live a blessed life. And I'm one of that very few.
Okay, nice.
God blessed.
Yes.
Right? God blessed in a very humble way. I live a very blessed life. And that's good. And on the flip side, may not be that good. Example, right? Success came very early for me, like earliest, like at 25. And at that age, you don't know better. We think we know better.
Oh,
But
isn't
we
that
don't
true?
know better. Yeah, exactly, right? I don't know better. It was all good until I had my health scare
I'm
at
sorry to hear that.
29. At 29, yeah. And the term called psychosomatic. Of course, at that moment, at that time, I didn't understand. But when I look back now, I said it wouldn't surprise me that I had the suspected cancer. Right. Thank goodness it wasn't cancerous, so it was all good. Right. But it was also a very good wake up call that because there's a lot of people, especially where I come from, this part of the world, Asia, Southeast Asia, where success, of course, in the whole world, but particularly, because I grew up in the 60s. I'm 60 years old.
Wow. You don't look,
Yes.
telling her how beautiful she is. You don't look 60. Wow.
Yeah, so I grew up in
Amazing.
the 60s, 70s, 80s, right? So life was tough, but then, like I said, I'm being very blessed that things has been good for me. And I went to elite school. I studied in Switzerland, in London. So again, good and bad. So the bad part is like, it was like, okay, success, you pursue things and everything is good. But people tend, like myself, and I like to believe many people, something has to give.
Yeah.
Something has to give. And why I mentioned the psychosomatic is scientific. The brain, our brain, human brain produces chemical. Feel good, good chemical, feel bad, bad chemical. All right. So even this thing called stress is bad chemical called cortisol.
Yes.
But people kind of like underestimate it. Like I'm strong, right? Go on, right? Pursue, right? Resilience, all being good, nothing negative. But then the flip side of it, like I said again, something has to give.
Yeah.
So I'm glad something has to give at a much younger age than a
Yeah.
much older age. So
Yeah.
that was my turning point, so to speak, that we all want success. I still want success. I'm still very ambitious at 60. I would, if you ask me, oh, are you retired, or are you retiring soon? And I go like, that's a bad word. What are you talking about?
What? Then
Why
what?
you say a bad word? That's so bad, right? Because seriously, it's not in my brain.
Yeah.
Of course, right? I'll keep going. If a time I can't do it anymore, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But isn't in my plan that when I'm going to retire at this age and blah blah blah. And then of course people question like, why do you want to not retire? I said, why do I want to retire? I'm just doing exactly what I want to do
Yeah.
in life. And then
Yeah.
retire to what?
That's right. To what? Right. And we see so many people when they retire at a young age,
Yeah,
they start having health problems. They don't know what to do with themselves. You can only read so much or golf so much or travel so much. And then it's like, now what? So where's the purpose? Where's the
correct.
passion? Which is what I hear from you. Like
Yeah,
you have that
absolutely.
passion for the work you do.
Correct. And some people sort of like also have the myth of this passion, like
Yeah.
I'm passionate about singing, I'm passionate about golfing. No, passion is all about what you're willing to do regardless,
Yeah.
not passionate about a specific activity. So there are some guru will go about find your passion, and then forever people can't find because they're finding the activity. Because some days, excuse my language, it sucks.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's
Right?
true. Yes.
No
Yeah.
matter what activity, some days it sucks. So it's like, oh, then it's not for me.
Yeah.
Come off it. So passion for me is not the activity, but what you're willing to do for a long time. I feel good doing it.
Well, that
So
makes sense. And
yeah,
and and it's that passion is about, having purpose with your passion,
correct, correct.
right?
So then it's like, so then, the question, then what are you willing to do? How do you based on it? So based on it, two things. One, your core values.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two, right? From the core values, your why. Why
Yeah.
do you do what you do? That's the purpose.
Yeah.
So even simply, of course, we all want money, right? We live in a material world. I mean, if
We
anybody
do.
said, "Oh, money is not important," I say, "Excuse me, I mean, are you in a denier?" I mean, even you take a bus, you need money.
Yes, exactly. You want to feed yourself, you need money. Put a house
Correct,
and roof over
correct,
your
correct.
head, you need
Right,
money.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
right. So it's not about that. It's about then why you do what you do. Just like why do you want money? And I found so many people cannot answer the question.
Yeah.
And if they answer like, oh, to provide for my family, to give a better life for blah blah blah, I said, yeah, all granted, but that's not your why.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
responsibility, I get that,
Yeah.
but that's not the why. Yeah. So day in night out, I question people, what's your why? What's your why? So irritating.
Well, but it's a great question, right? Because so often we get on that hamster wheel of life and we forget what our why is, or that why starts to evolve as we, have children or as we're caring for our parents, or things do evolve, and that's very normal, right?
Yes, correct.
And one of the reasons, Nancy, I really wanted you to come on the show today is to talk about and share with us your thoughts on how success and fulfillment can coexist in our professional lives, right? So many of us think it has to be one or the other.
Right.
And what I'm hearing you say is no, it needs to exist together.
Correct. But you see, we've been taught, right, to be positive. So to
Mm,
always look at what we want, what we want, what we want, right? All being
yes.
well and good. But I coach my people to start with asking what you do not want.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do we want? Yeah, bigger house, bigger car, more love, more abundance, more whatever. I mean, more, right? I mean, no end to that. It's almost like, on a Christmas, you hang this Christmas wish on a tree, the wish what you wish for. But that's
Mhm.
not what it is. So if you go into what you don't want, then then it has that clarity than what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
give you
Very
another
true.
example. Let's say, hey, Vicky, let's go for dinner. Where would you like to go? The usual politically right answer would be, I'm good. Right?
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever you want,
yeah,
Nancy.
whatever you want. I'm easy. So I bring you the easy restaurant.
Yeah.
And he went like, I don't do spicy, or I
Mm.
don't do fried, whatever that might be. And then,
Mhm.
what do you tell me, right? Okay. So I never asked the question, what you would like to eat. I always ask, what do you not eat?
Mm. Nice. Nice.
So, right, I don't eat meat, or I don't eat whatever, seafood or the crab.
Gluten,
I
whatever. Yeah.
eliminate it first. So
Hmm.
after I eliminate what you don't want, I take away what you don't want. Then I bring you to the so-called easy restaurant. It wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Nice. Yes. Yes. Because you're fulfilling a need that is there. And I've shared what is not right for me or what I don't
Correct.
want. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, I have no explanation why negative has a much stronger impact than
No.
positive. I have
Oh,
no
yes.
explanation. Even I studied psychology all my life, I still cannot explain it. Like a bad day would have such impact, negative
Hmm.
impact, I mean, than a good day. A
Hmm.
good day is like, yeah, and then like, okay, it fizzles off. But bad day, people can go on and do all about it and it eat into you, and then the ripple effect, you affect other people.
Well, I think, yeah, I love what you just brought up there. Because you do see this a lot, right? Even when you say, "How's your day going?" and somebody says, "Oh, I got stuck in traffic trying to get to work, then I was late or whatever." And it's like, "Okay, but what's going well?" Right? So it is
Correct.
shifting that mindset to go from being very fixed and negative and caught in that cycle to something that is more possible.
Correct.
And what no, it doesn't necessarily have to be positive, because there is a thing of positive toxicity, right? But what is possible? And
Correct.
it sounds like that's what you're looking for. Like, what are those
Correct.
possibilities?
Yeah. So therefore, no, I mean, in the personal development world, I feel it's too much hype up about all the positive.
Yes. Yes.
Not wrong, not wrong at all, but it's too much hype up. So people then, lose the fact what they don't want,
Mm.
what's
Hmm.
not working, what doesn't sit well. And again, like I said, what does not sit well, what we don't want, just has a very bad impact on us.
Hmm.
Again, I can't explain, but we all know that.
Yeah.
So come back to that. So if we look at what we don't want, so elimination, take away, take away,
Mhm.
subtract. Then we have this certain clarity that, that's what I want. I
Yeah.
always start with that.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Then next, of course, all right, very important, like what matters to you.
Hmm.
Okay, because whenever I talk about values, core values become like such a big topic, like oh,
Sure, it can be overwhelming
yeah.
sometimes, right?
So
Because people also question, just like they question their why, they
yeah,
question, what are my values? Are they actually mine?
right,
Or is it something that was passed down to me through my family
correct,
or,
correct,
right?
correct.
Culturally, or, yeah.
Yeah. So rather, I go in an easier way. What
Okay.
matters to you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Beautiful.
What matters to you? So what matters to you, we all know immediately,
Yeah.
right? What matters to me? Okay, for example, what matters to me? First thing is being truthful,
Mm-hmm.
big time,
Yeah.
right? It matters to me, right? So when someone is not truthful, I mean, I would have big reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Likewise.
Yeah.
Definitely get triggered.
So like right now, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah,
You know?
truth can be hard, but hey, it's better to get it out there than overlook that or not tell the
Correct.
truth, and then later, because it always comes out at some
Yeah.
point in time, it will always come
Correct.
out.
Exactly. So First thing, right? You know what you don't want, what matters. Then the third thing is very simple. What activities do you choose to
Yeah.
support the above?
Yeah. Nice.
Right? Rather
Nice.
than singing is my passion, acting is my passion, or coaching is my passion. Like I said, someday sucks. And is that really that? Because, there's so much to it. It's so much complexity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then, because we are seeing there are singers and they're singers, they're actors and they're actors. Some
Right.
are
Right.
really sustainable and others have to be heavy on drugs to just
Mm-hmm.
keep themselves sane. What does
Yeah.
that mean? Right?
Yeah.
As in any profession, I'm just saying singer, actors as a norm that we all can
Just as
relate
an
to.
example. Yeah.
Right? We all can relate to. So I'm not particularly just talking about them. All right. So the activities that we choose is just the activity we choose. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been choosing to coach, to train. In fact, I started as a trainer first, and then I go into personal training and then group training. All right. It's just the activities. And I said that to my people. I call it my people, the people that I coach. I said, if tomorrow I decide to like quit this whole life strategist thing and life coaching thing and transformative thing and go to New Zealand and own a farm, would that change me?
Mm-hmm.
Not at all,
Good.
right?
Good point. Yes, that's great.
Great. Not at all. Sure, I would dress differently.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'd be funny if I dressed this way.
Yeah. Yeah. Farming.
Have
Well,
this makeup,
that'd be like Zsa Zsa Gabor. Remember her? And I don't know if you ever saw that in Singapore, Green Acres.
Yeah, yeah. Sure, the outlook would be a bit different, my dressing would be different, but my attitude, my quality, my standard will not
Mm-hmm.
change.
Your values stay the
My
same.
values will not change, right? But people tend to think I have to do this to be me.
Yeah.
Not at all, right? Vicky, wouldn't you say the same thing? If you
Yeah.
decide tomorrow for some reason, drop what you're doing, never mind about leadership,
Yeah.
women's
Yes.
leadership,
Yes.
and then whatever other leadership or whatever other things, that cannot change you, right?
Yeah. I think that's such an important message you're sharing there because we so tie our identity to
Mhm.
our role. And you're absolutely right. It's more about who you are at the core. What are your values? What are the attributes that you are sharing with the world? And there's a multitude of ways that you can share those without, just because, I mean, and we all go through this, right? That we have these identity crises where, let's say, you've been the president of X company and now you're no longer. And when people say, "Who are you?" you go, "Well,
Yeah,
I was," and guilty. I've done that myself, right? But it's more about who are you, right? Like, let's get
correct,
to know you as a person. Yeah.
correct, correct. That's why I say it's just the activity that differ,
Correct.
but
Yes.
who you are does not change. So therefore, let's look at leadership, right? It's similar. Whether you're going to lead XYZ company in
Mhm.
this ABC industry, or my example just now you lead a farm, all right, or you go to a construction industry or whatever, the
Right. Yeah.
AI, the cybersecurity, blockchain, or whatever that's in that, or the banking, no difference.
Yeah.
No difference. So people tend to want to think that if I do something else, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm not going to talk about how to build a rocket.
Yeah. Well, but even that, you might build a team around you that has the expertise to do that. So technically you could, if you have the ability to ask those questions and
So,
know how to
so
research and figure out is it the right thing, right? Look at Elon Musk. I mean, he went from, a computer guru to building a rocket that
sure,
was actually
sure,
able to come back and reuse.
right. But you
Yeah.
see, the thing is that he still is in alignment with
Yeah.
so-called IT
Right.
technology. He doesn't
Well,
go
that's true.
and
Yes.
yeah, he doesn't go like example now. Let's manufacture shoes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
don't
still
know. He might soon, Nancy.
yeah, knowing him. But my point, what I'm trying to say, we are always will go along where our so-called core
Yes, you're
expertise.
absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm a lawyer, is the law, yeah, we can shift that. If I'm in sports, I go along that way, I shift that. But of course, with technology, with innovation, with creativity, we can slant it a certain way. But we will never really, go off track to the extent. If you really
Yeah.
look at anyone that's successful, okay, a businessman, right? Okay, sure. Okay, a good one would be Richard Branson,
Yeah.
right? Richard Branson hasn't got like Elon Musk, right? That kind of IT,
Yes.
technology thing. But then he's about what? Creativity of how
Yeah.
to make a business work.
Yeah. Yeah. Highly innovative and creative. Yes.
Correct. So he will
Doesn't
go
matter what the
along.
business is.
Exactly. So you
Yeah.
go along the line that somebody may propose a certain business or he have an idea of a certain business, then he know how to tweak it. So
Yeah.
that's and the enterprise, the business, stuff like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So we
Yeah.
all will go along with our core expertise, so to speak. But unfortunately, people sort of underestimate their core expertise
Mm-hmm.
because they tend to look at it. I'm a teacher, example.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to teach. No, no, no. Teaching again is just an activity.
Yeah.
Always stress
Well,
the word
that's,
activity, but beyond the teaching,
yeah.
what are you naturally good at? That's the core expertise.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's also how you define it, right?
Correct.
So, that example you just gave, I love, love, love that. Somebody said to me, so I spent 30 years as an executive in the retail industry, ran a number of iconic brands. And I had done some like assessments that came back saying I should be a teacher, right? And I was like, what? No, I'm not a teacher. And then I started looking at my career and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been a teacher my entire career,
Correct.
right? Because I was always able to identify great talent, groom them, train them, get them ready to take on more responsibility,
All right.
feel good about themselves. And so my definition of teaching actually shifted to
Correct.
it's not traditional teaching in
Right.
an academic
Right.
um, field, right? But we start to look at it differently. So how that goes back to what you were saying earlier about your why, right? And really
Correct.
helping you define what are the
Mm,
possibilities that can come from your why. Yeah.
correct. So then the other thing, right? A lot of my clients then they say, okay, I want to shift my career or do something else. I call it the second life.
Yeah.
So again, the question I always ask is, what are you naturally good at?
Mm-hmm.
I go, what you mean to say my qualification? I said, no. What are you naturally good at
Yeah.
without any qualification? Oh, I mean, it's kind of tough because we are so attached to our qualification, to our experience, to exposure, right? Okay, especially
Yeah.
qualification. So I just said, naturally good at. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what I'm naturally good at. Since I was a teenager, and literally, I'm just very good at looking at something and get the essence of it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Great skill.
I'm just very good at like spot question for the exams.
That's helpful.
Very helpful. Don't
Yes.
work smart, don't work hard
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
alone, right? You
Exactly.
still work, but not work so hard, work smart, right? So I'm very good at, like I said, get the essence of it. So I've been naturally good at that. And then I'm good at that. Whatever the essence, I make it very fresh. I mean,
Mm,
my own way, all right? My story, my whatever. Then why do I do that?
yeah.
To impact.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
impact. So that's what I'm naturally good at. And so 26, 27 years in my adult life, I do that.
Yeah.
So why do I need to
That's
retire?
yeah. Well, and so it's interesting you bring this up because one of the things I do a lot of strengths identification in the work that I do, right? Like, which it sounds like you do as well, and helping people identify what their strengths are becomes so important. And when do you overplay it and when do you underplay it? right? I mean, that becomes so important. And even what you were saying earlier about there's that opposite side to
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
right? So knowing when and how to either really amp it up, but to your point earlier, it's more about identifying what is it, right? Because we tend to automatically, it's easy. If somebody says, so what are your weaknesses, Nancy? Most people, easy, name off, oh, I need to work on this, or, this is an opportunity for me. When we ask about strengths, it becomes more difficult because we are, I'm going to use the word programmed
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
focus on
Yes.
the
Correct.
negative side,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So just like I have a client today at 4 o'clock. All right, my time, 4 o'clock, and she's coming to me not just about coaching alone. We're talking about personal branding.
Mhm.
Then she was like, she's a high flyer already. She's a high flyer. I won't do personal branding with someone that's not a high flyer, right? Obvious. So, but she said, but when I know I've achieved so much, and even somebody would compliment, yeah, I'm good, I accept it. But there's some part in me,
Mm.
the imposter syndrome,
Of
that's
course.
part like, hey, is that really? So Nancy, can we do therapy on that? I said,
Mm.
wait. Let's look at the bigger picture. Um, I said, okay, so I said, let's look at let's look at what's going on around us. Do you find there are some older people, they tend to only talk about their past glory?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I not even older people. I find that with a lot of people, right?
Right.
When you ask them to identify like successes, like one of the things I often do with clients is get them to create their brag book, right?
Mhm.
Because what you were saying earlier, when you have those tough days, you need to reflect on
Yeah.
what am I doing great at? Like today
Mhm.
is a moment in time. This is not every day. It's not every moment of every day. So yeah, it can be very difficult for people to
Right.
be in the present of what's working well.
And why are they not able to be present? Because there's not a lot to show up today.
Yeah.
So
That they
therefore,
identify.
yes. So therefore, they have to attach to the past
Yeah. I,
glory. I call it the past glory because there's not a lot to talk about today. So I'm not here to criticize other people. I'm just saying, just
so
observe
this
the
is
world.
general. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
general,
Yeah.
yeah, conversation.
So,
Yeah.
so then I said to her, so instead of let's work on therapy and I'm a hypnotherapist, right? I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. Let's go to the root cause and all. I said, fine. Okay,
Mm,
but hang on. Before we do that, let's come out with your story.
yeah.
What makes you become who you are today?
Yeah.
Right? So I have my deck on my story. Right? Okay. So a couple of things, right? There must be something from our past that influence
Oh,
us, that I call it our energetic blueprint.
yeah.
So whether it be a parent, a hero, someone you look up to. So like you said, the word program. It's also,
Yeah.
we can program positively as well, not necessarily just
Yeah.
negative, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that becomes your energetic blueprint. All right.
Yeah.
So my energetic blueprint, for example, is first from my late dad.
Mm,
Although I only have 3 years from him,
mm.
and everybody look at, oh, poor thing. I said, no, it's the three best years anybody could be programmed so positively.
Wow.
All right. So, he believes that I'm a star, I shine forth, so on and so forth. And to believe in that kid, I'll put it like that, that kid, because I'm so small, right? He's so big, right? Okay. And it's something else. Of course, I couldn't remember anything at 3 years old. He said that, but my
Mm,
family keep implanting that.
yeah.
Then the second, okay, significant thing is our in Singapore,
Mhm.
I'll call it our forefather, which is the late Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. We all know
Okay.
that. Not for him, you would not have Singapore. So how he have been so driven and make us from nothing to something. That
Mm.
red little dot, right? Singapore, you can't even see it in the map to where it is today. We just had our 59th birthday on the 9th of August.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it was
Happy
amazing.
belated.
Thank you, it was amazing. So this becomes my energetic blueprint
Yeah.
that influenced me, right? Being driven, ambitious, but still at the same time humble, modest, so on and so forth. So with the energetic blueprint, right? The story I'm talking about, life story, is like we all have a defining moment, something that just make us wake up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Been there. Yes.
And
Yes.
that defining moment, seriously, is God sent. Whatever
Yeah.
our faith may be, I call it God sent because that is supposed to be something that make us, hey, wake up.
Wake up. Yeah.
Otherwise, even life is good, it'd be like good. You know what I mean? Like
I do.
good. Yeah. So it's a defining moment that although it's like pop, we plunge, but that makes us have the grit, to propel,
Yeah.
to shift gear, to go on the path, that
Your true
then
path.
becomes, yeah, the true path. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the next thing called a defining moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from then, from the defining, from when we get out of that, whatever, that defining moment, then that really becomes our purpose,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
meaning, our meaning. Why
Well, and
we
it's
do it.
also the understanding of who you are, right?
Correct.
How did you get here to this moment, to that defining moment that you're referring to, Nancy? Like that is such a journey that, is so critical in our lives. But so many of us are on that hamster wheel and
Correct.
autopilot that we just go, 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 go,
Correct.
go. And
Correct.
we don't get to that place. And
Correct.
that's not criticizing. That's just about, you know,
Absolutely.
navigating the complexities that we
Correct.
have
Yeah.
and being able to slow down long enough to go, okay, hang on a second. Why am I, fill in the blank, whatever that is? Like that becomes so critical to help you be present and navigate what's ahead for you.
Correct. Yeah. So that
So,
becomes that what the meaning, not
yeah.
it's like just the purpose. It gives you meaning. The
Yeah.
meaning is right. Why do I wake up in the morning for?
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So why do I wake up in the morning? So the point then is like then is you are very present.
Yes.
So when you're so present, we don't have to look at the past glory because the past glory isn't as interesting as the present.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I love
Yeah.
how you brought that full circle, right? Because you can't go back.
Yeah.
You can
Exactly.
literally only be here right now at this moment because
Correct.
that's all we actually have. There's no guarantee for the future and the past is gone. So, what can you do with what you have at this moment?
Correct. You
Yeah.
see, yeah. So then, of course, we then have to carve. Then what the strategy? What else do we want?
Yeah.
Or what I call the personal vision statement. Then,
Yeah.
right? The personal vision statement. That's where we want to go. All right. So it's very hopeful.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Which it should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
Then, to me, that's called success.
Right. Yeah.
So why the paradox of success? Right? We talked about it some nearly 45 minutes ago. Right? It's like people just keep chasing something that's material,
Yeah.
something for power, right? Something that is extrinsic,
Yeah.
not intrinsic. And there's nothing that's extrinsic that will be enough at all to
Yeah.
fulfill us.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything else, if we keep chasing the outside, one of the things that happen to people, they fall sick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Very,
They
very
fall sick.
true.
Why? Yeah, why they fall sick? Because you
Well,
know,
you're always chasing then. Like if you don't
correct.
go inside and
Yeah,
really look at what's happening, like that carrot that you're chasing
correct. The
has to get
meltdown.
bigger and more often
Yeah,
because it's giving you that short-term dopamine, right?
yes,
That
correct.
feel-good hormone or that
Yeah,
feel-good, high that you get, but it's short lived when you get the new car, the big house or whatever. It's like, what is going to fulfill you inside without the things?
And then what happened, which is reality, when you fall short.
Yeah.
So that's why we when see sports people, they melt down.
Yeah.
They cannot accept they have lost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they go into that winning and the winning, and then you cannot win that way forever.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's
I don't
true.
want to name whatever sports people, right? It's all the same, whether you're a sports person, a singer, entrepreneur, all the same, right? However, if you really know your purpose and the meaning, there's no winning or losing.
That's right. Exactly. You're just where you're meant to be.
Correct. Correct. Nothing to win, nothing to lose. You are just the way you are. You just wake up and just do what you're happy to do.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So then your brain produces the good chemical, serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine.
All
So
those good, feel good.
yeah,
The
yeah.
same thing that chocolate brings or
Exactly. So
yeah.
probably that's why I look this way at 60 years old.
Good job. Good job, Nancy.
And I exercise like 6 times a week, and I do
Wow.
HIT. I do
Very
hard
nice.
intensity. Yeah, I mean, this morning I was doing the body combat. I was kicking and everything else.
Nice,
I have
nice.
my own home gym, and I do that 6 times a week, 1 day break, and I know on the average from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on my schedule, right? And
Nice.
why do I do it? I said, "Oh, Nancy, you're so disciplined." I said, "There's nothing to do with discipline,
Mm,
nothing at all. This is something I want to do for myself."
for yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So, Nancy, I am cognizant of our time, so we have
Oh,
to wrap up here. But what would you like to leave our audience with? Like, this has been a great conversation, and my hopes and the invitation I would like to give to our audience is think about what your why is, and how you craft the life you really want, that's going to give you the meaning and the purpose that
absolutely.
really drives you. But is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience, something they could walk away and do today?
First thing, stop following the Joneses.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Be
Yes.
authentic, right? Be authentic, as we only have this one life in this one lifetime, whatever belief one may have. We only have this one life in this lifetime. Don't follow the Joneses, but seriously touch your heart. First, is there an issue in your life? It's not
Yeah.
being negative. If there is, go fix it.
Yeah.
Don't
Nice.
pretend it's not there, because when something is not good, it only grow it with us. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make anybody weak just because we need fixed it. I fixed my stuff,
Yeah. Oh, I
right?
mean, that's how you evolve.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just really being very truthful. Again, like I said, my first value is being truthful.
Yeah.
Then of course, then next, right, is really having the strategy of how you craft and live your life.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it sounds
Beautiful.
very basic, but then that's what it is. And life is to start with, just start with the basic.
Yeah. It's the foundation of who
Correct,
we are.
correct, correct.
That's a beautiful way to wrap us up today.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's a late in the evening for you in Singapore. So thank you. I know you've had probably lots of clients today, and this has been a beautiful conversation. So thank you so much for being here with us. And I want to thank our audience for being here. Like, again, you have a choice as to what podcast you listen to. We're grateful that you chime into the Will Talk podcast. Please do share our episode, leave us a review, let us know what you thought of the conversation. If you have questions, you can reach out to Nancy Ho at LinkedIn. You can reach out to me, Vicky Bradley, on LinkedIn. Whatever works for you from a communication perspective. And also, if you want to keep up with what's happening in the Will community, be sure to go on our website. That's 1L, willempowered.com. And excuse me, lost my voice there for a second. Sign up for our monthly newsletter. We don't bombard you with tons and tons of stuff. It's more about, letting you know some great tips, some wonderful people that are going to be on our podcast, events that are going on. Sometimes those are virtual, sometimes they're in person, but, check out our newsletter and see if that is helpful to you. So thank you everyone for being here. Nancy, thank you again. This has been
Thank you.
fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you.